I am super pumped to be sharing this episode with you today. This is with one person that I highly respect, I really look up to, Ed Dale. He's going to be diving into and sharing with you, seriously, some of the best insights when it comes to not just online business, because he's a mixed master mic at it, but just business in general. What you're going to be able to really understand what matters for you to be able to build your business, especially when it comes to building it from scratch. So if you're thinking about starting your online fitness business, you've probably got 101 questions running through your head right now with what it is that you need to be able to do. And that's what I bring Ed on today for. You're going to be going through the exact steps to make sure that you're going to be able to get your first dollars, your first clients, and building it on from there. So get ready to take some notes. Also, be sure to join us in the Fitness Business Success Circle. This is where you're going to be able to get access to the live streams, the guides, the fitness business quiz, plus I'm in there answering your questions as well. And I'll pop a link below for you to join the free and private group. So jump on in, enjoy this episode, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you after it. Ed Dale, thank you so much for coming onto the Ask the Pro show. I am really, really grateful. I'm pumped up because you're someone that I've looked up to for a very long time, and actually having to sit down, have lunch, and be in the same room with you for a couple of days late last week, I was really excited to get you onto the show because I very thankfully learned so much from you, and I know the audience and the listener right now is going to be able to soak a whole lot. So firstly, before we jump into anything, Ed, thank you so much for taking the time out and being here.
Oh, mate, thank you very much. It was awesome to be there with your very special birthday. And so it was a pleasure for you to spend your special time with us at the conference. And no, mate, I'm thrilled to be speaking with you.
All right, I tell you what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to get the video off Tarky, and we're going to have to splice it in right now. It was not my birthday, and I got absolutely stitched up from a whole room full. But that was very interesting. For someone that's had about 2 glasses of wine in about the last 3 or 4 months, it was a good experience.
Yes. Yeah, very, very good.
All right, Ed, now before we start jumping into, I think, is some of the most important topics when it comes to people starting and building their online business, I would love to delve into you if the listener doesn't know who Ed Dale is. So who are you, Ed, and why are you so phenomenal?
I'm just a simple country boy from Beechworth, Victoria. That's
you're
it.
Humble.
That's what I put
you're
on
humble.
my CV. That's no, but look. I suppose what I am known for is creating something called The Challenge, which is a program that's been going for 12 years now. It's totally free, and it's a way of just getting people started on their online business. So it's very much about just focusing on the key elements, the fundamentals, and the aim's always been make $1. Because the thing about $1, and people find that, that's very, unsexy, just making $1. But the thing is, the one thing I know with 100% certainty is that every person who's made $1 million has made $1 first.
Nice.
But if they haven't made the $1, they're not going to make $1 million. So understanding that and getting people involved in the market in a certain way has been something I've always been very passionate about. And so that's really what I'm known, inverted commas, for.
Brilliant. I think that's so true because I know from my personal experience, you make that first dollar online and it is one of the most exciting moments in life. It's just, oh my God, this can happen. Like, what's going on right now? And then as it obviously builds,
I in my podcast, when I have experts on them, I ask them about their first dollar that they made. And it's amazing. The clarity and the detail that they can tell those stories in I've never had somebody go, I can't remember making my first $1 in my online business. I've never had that because it's such a big deal. You're absolutely right.
That's so true. Like as you said that, I know the exact moment, like hearing the noise on the PayPal app going in the phone as I go off to the gym, knowing that, oh my God, like this can one day obviously okay, totally. We're not talking about me. We're talking about you right now.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, making the first $1, maybe even before we start delving into the beautiful methods and principles, because as just to kind of give the listener a bit of an insight, you and I were talking about Facebook Messenger ads last week, and it was really interesting because I was like, look, this is what I'm playing with. Obviously, you've got a really good idea of what's going on, but you're also able to talk to the basic principles and psychology of why this is a good thing. And as the online world and e-commerce and economics, and as obviously we have different tools and platforms and technologies, the basic principles are staying true all the way through. And I found that so fascinating and insightful of how you talk to it. So maybe if we can break it on down and see, why do you think, Ed, people are struggling with building the online business that they really want to?
There's a couple of things that one, I think, and most of them, by the way, are mental issues and got nothing to do with the strategies and tactics. There are a bunch of ways that you can do it, and in fact, in some ways, the reason there are the fact that there's so many different ways is part of the problem. Because, again, from psychology, when we're faced with unlimited choice, human nature is we tend to make no choice. It's too hard to decide. So that's actually one of the interesting things. But I think fundamentally it comes down to when people are starting out, one is they're comparing their first dollar to somebody's last dollar, right? So they get, they see all the stuff online. Oh, look at this person. He made $20,000 a month. Oh, that person made $100,000. Oh, that person had $1 million day. And by the way, it's all true. It's not a scam. It's not a fake. It's absolutely true. Trouble is, you didn't see the 2 years of work building up to that point. And so when you do your first month of being online and you make no money, or you're in the hole $300, you think, I suck. And then they go off and do something else because your brain just wants you to be happy, right? So it'll get you distracted on the next thing because you, inverted commas, failed. And, the example I always use, because so many entrepreneurs use him as a role model, as they should, Richard Branson. 400 companies, lives on Necker Island, incredible lifestyle. This is the poster child of entrepreneurship. And I actually had somebody talk to me on ask me a question on a webinar. Well, why can't I do multiple things, Ed? Richard Branson does 400. And I said, you are comparing Richard Branson's last dollar with your first dollar. Let's compare Richard Branson's first dollar, or in his case, pound. His first business venture, which he ran for 4 years from the age of 16, was a student magazine. It made no money. No. In fact, his parents had to bail him out. Right? Now, he had a lot of fun. He had a lot of parties and all that sort of stuff, but no money whatsoever. He then opened his record store, which, after 2 years of operation, turned a profit. He made his first pound. So he made his first pound 6 years after he started in business. 6 years. And by the way, the only reason the record store was profitable was because he was importing the records from Luxembourg and avoiding all the VAT, so he could charge less than everybody else. And he got into trouble with that and so on. But and no doubt he became just an amazing entrepreneur, somebody we all look up to. But here's the deal. It took him 6 years to make his first pound. 6 years.
Incredible.
And, we can do it in 30 days. So does that mean we're better than Richard Branson? I don't think so. But that's the problem with the psychology of it, you see, Chris, right? Is that mentality that, I'm comparing myself to Richard Branson now, or that guy on Facebook ads now, or this person here. And so that, to me, is the problem. So in summary, there's so many things that you tend to be frozen. And secondly, you are comparing others' last dollar with making your first dollar. And both are really serious issues.
This is brilliant. When it came to the mindset, I'm very, very interested in what do you think about this. What do you think are the issues when it comes to the things in between our ears right now that are really stopping us from making it?
Look, apart from the ones I've already mentioned, and another big part of it, and of course, I deal with people who are literally just starting online, and for a lot of people, of course, they may be really struggling, or I get an email every second day, which is, look, is this online stuff something that can help me?
Yeah.
You know, my house is in danger of being
Yep.
taken away, or literally people in that situation. And I have to say there, and this is really hard, is that, no, this won't save you.
Yeah.
It won't. It just won't. Because if you're in the mindset of, you know, in scarcity and you're in trouble, there's no way you can make a business and be creative in any of those sorts of things.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's the one bit of psychology we all got at high school was Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Remember the pyramid? You know, and so the first is shelter, safety, right, and then food and all of it. If you don't have those basics in place, you're in all sorts of trouble. But what's so sad is that people get so stuck in that place, they don't realise there's so much help out there for them. And that's what I try to point them in the right direction. You know, it doesn't matter where you are on the planet listening to this, there are people that can help, right? Or if you're in financial difficulties, people can negotiate this. Don't go to the scamming businesses that will promise to help you do this. Go to, like here in Australia, the local councils offer services and they'll negotiate. You don't realise, because you're so under the pump, you don't realise that. So if you don't have your foundation right, that can be a real problem. I'm not talking everything's roses. It's never everything roses, right? There's crap happening all the time. But if you don't have that fundamental foundation layer there, so you know where your next dollar's like you know where rent's coming from, you know where you're going to be living, those things are sort of key, I think, in mindset as well when you're looking at, you know, starting out.
There's from the seminars that I just held from the last 5 days, this came up really frequently, but there was specifically top of mind for me right now is actually one girl that just signed on, and she was saying that she completely wants to stop being a personal trainer and start her online fitness business.
Yep.
And as going through it, she's like, I'm sick of doing face-to-face PT. This isn't what I want to be. This isn't what I want to be doing. I see what I want to be doing over here. And then going through the talk, it became really obvious. I was like, there's a gap and you need a transition period right now. So that's what I was like, why don't we just make things maybe a little bit smarter, maybe being able to say increase your effectively hourly rate, reduce the amount of work that you do. So therefore you can get a little bit more time, so you're doing a little bit less, you're still keeping the income coming through. So it's a beautiful thing, because I remember, I think it was Ramit Sethi, he was saying he doesn't take anyone on board that is in debt. Like if you've got credit card debt or anything like that, you're not going to be in that right mindset for it. And I was like, that's brilliant. But obviously there's that transition period. So how do you, Ed, help someone go through that transition period?
Such a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up, because you talk about one of the like that exact, using that exact example. You know, there's a bit of a movement, you know, for burn the ships, you know, hey, dump your entire PT business and throw yourself into online. That's what the people do. Burn the ships, you know, so you've got no choice. So you go back and you make it happen. You make way or force your way in. And that's crap. Right? Here's the thing. I've been privileged to watch 450,000 people start an online business. I'm probably, in terms of people starting out an online business, there's probably nobody who's had a front row seat to that many people doing this.
Totally.
I can count on one hand with 3 fingers chopped off the number of times burn the ships has actually worked.
Wow.
Where somebody has just collapsed in. What typically happens though is people save up, because they're so excited about, oh yay, I'm in my online business, oh this is fantastic, I'm so, oh this is great, and they spend their first 2 months watching every webinar that they missed out on and all the brainstorming sessions and all that sort of thing, and that's fine. And they get about the halfway, they get to the halfway point of where the money starts to become an issue, and then they go, oh, I actually haven't done much, I better get cracking. And then you run into a different type of stress, because the money's starting to run out. You've spent 4 months of your 6 months and you're completely stuck. So your advice to that lady was exactly the correct advice. Yeah, maybe wipe down, if you're a personal trainer and you want to transition to an online business, awesome. But don't cold turkey it. You want to be able to have you want your rent paid, you want all of this sort of stuff.
Yes.
But something that I know is people completely overestimate the amount of time they have to spend initially getting stuff started, right? Just to get that transition happening.
Yes.
You can do it in such a way that it's not all or nothing. You can do it, and just by carving out that 25 minutes, 50 minutes a day, but regularly make it a practice. And let's face it, all you fitness lot, discipline's your middle name. You're awesome. I wish I had a modicum of the discipline you guys have. Right? So that should be, so you know what it's like to dedicate 25 to 50 minutes. So all we're saying, right, Chris, is, hey, take that same dedication and apply it, because 25 minutes or 50-minute workout for your online business, that's what you need. You don't need to chuck all the baby out with the bathwater, and then you transition, right? So you make your first dollar, you get your first online clients, and then you get to the point where you may be able to get down to 1 day a week where you're doing it. And then eventually it'll be, you can be completely online, and that'll be awesome.
No, so true. It's funny because I've had people say similar things, and looking back, it was literally having to wake up 45 minutes earlier. So I had to wake up at 4 a.m. so then I could have between 4 to 5 a.m. to actually write content that then was going to go online to obviously start the process. And it was getting the first 10 clients on board. So then I was like, okay, fantastic. We made the move. I was actually in Dubai at the time. So I actually packed everything up. We left Dubai. We moved to Bali. I had 10 clients on board. I knew everything was starting. It was awesome. But the big problem is in the first 2 weeks, 5 of my clients I lost because they weren't the right fit. I didn't actually the actual acquisition wasn't right. So I was like, holy shit. But obviously made it work as we go through. But fantastic advice. The next thing that popped up, and I had to write this down, is the time dedication that you, I know this is a broad strokes question, but the time dedication that you recommend people for that transition period, how do you answer that?
I think it is really, I say, look, can you hey, if I'm coming to you to train, Chris, you're not going to put me through the super punishing workout, because let's face it, I haven't seen a dumbbell in, probably since high school, and that was a long time ago, right? So you wouldn't put me through. Maybe you would, but no. Seriously, no. Yeah, of course you wouldn't. You wouldn't put me through the mega punishing workout, right? I'm saying the same thing here. So take half an hour and just carve out half an hour, 5 days a week. And as long as they're action-based, you're building momentum, you're doing things, and you've got step-by-step things that you can do, then that is the key, right? That's the key. So literally half an hour, 5 days a week is a good place to start. And then you can get, then you can maybe make that half an hour. Yes. And then because here's the thing we know, right? When it comes to creating and business marketing and all those sorts of things, let me tell you, the best people on the world, right, the most successful people on the world, can't spend more than 2 or 3 hours a day on the creative part of the business. Your brain doesn't have the capacity. Your glucose level, your energy, your willpower level will be. It's as much as if you go run a marathon. Okay, there's some crazy people who can do 2 marathons a day, but as a general rule,
fair enough,
right? They are indeed insane. But here's the deal, right? Is that as you build that up, you work that muscle, you do that. There's one other point that and it segues nicely into this, Chris, is one of the things that we realised when looking at the challenge, there are different types of entrepreneurs too. There are some people that will prefer video, like we're doing. You and I can get on video and we can talk till the cows come home. We are super. But if you ask me to write a blog post, I'm in terror, right? That is, I can do it, and I can actually do a good job, but the amount of energy it requires for me to do that, and that's what we realised. There are different types of entrepreneurs, and it's very important that you gel, and there's never been a better time. It's so exciting for everybody who's listening to you, right? There's never been a more exciting time to design the business a way you work, your strengths, right? Your strengths, and let the weaknesses be handled by people who it's actually their strengths, right? And there's never been a better time. Unfortunately, we're taught from first day of school, basically, never be wrong, always be right. right? And never, and never ever, just don't do drafts and be wrong and make it messy and all that sort of stuff. No, it's got to be perfect when you commit pen to paper.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we take these things through with us as we go through, and we're told constantly work on your weakness, work on your weakness, work on your weakness. And so we spend so much time working on our weaknesses, we ignore all our strengths. And that's that's a tragedy. And mate, that was only a realisation. That was a forehead slapping moment for me only a couple of years ago.
That's absolutely brilliant, because so much of the time, so many people are trying to work on their weaknesses and sucking so much time, energy, and resources away, where it could just be. Actually, it was funny. I had a call actually with a client just there, and he was telling me about the content that he's creating, and he was like, "Yeah, like he was good on video," and then he was talking about or like writing the statuses and everything. I was like, "No," I was like, "Stop. Just do the video. You're good. Make it easy, because if it's easy, you're going to do it. You're going to be able to get better at it, and you're going to be able to flow from there." Now, you said something really interesting, and this is awesome, because this is the segues we're really talking about. The design of the business, Ed. How do you help someone go through the process of designing their business? Because just say, for example, in the personal training world, so many people start as a personal trainer, they get certified, they walk into the gym, and they simply just copy what I kind of call the old model, which is I will train one client at one time, and therefore I can only see a certain amount of clients in a certain day. There's only a certain amount of hours in the day, and so forth. The business can't give you the impact, the money, or really the meaning that you want at the end of the day as well. How do you help someone over the broad strokes, any industry, design the online business that they want?
Yeah. Well, one of the interesting things, and I think this is, and let's face it, mate, they all market the same way. They all advertise the same way. They all spend the same money on the same business cards and the same,
it's true.
Same stuff. So where innovation happens is when you take stuff that's not done in your particular industry and apply it. But what's awesome is they've got people like you who can actually show them the way. There are the templates there, right? There are the templates there for creating a business that makes sense. So I think, from my perspective, the first thing I get people to do is, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, Chris, but the Kolbe Index.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. There's a test that you can do, which is called. Now, I don't like personality tests. I've never had an IQ test in my life because I'm terrified of what it's going to tell me. Right, I suspect I already know, but I don't want to know. I just don't want to be confirmed that I should barely be able to walk, let alone talk, right? So I don't want to know that. I want to be happy in my ignorant bliss.
Good.
Right? And personality-wise, definitely don't want to know all my personality problems. But here's the thing. The Kolbe Index is different. It is an amazing... It's about how you act, okay? It's what are your strengths in acting. And by going and doing this test... It gives you a 4-digit number, but bottom line is it helps. It tells you, and it's freaky. It tells you, you're much better talking in video and being off the cuff or working to deadline.
Yes.
One of the things that always, and this, some of you will appreciate this completely, and others of you will be completely horrified. Okay, and that's the different types of entrepreneurs. Okay, but for me, I need a deadline. If I say, Chris, no worries, mate, I'm going to get that report done for you. Don't worry. I will. No, don't worry, it'll be done. But I probably set my alarm early on Friday morning, which was when it was due, to knock it out, right?
It's true.
But and I used to feel really bad about that, the way I would prepare presentations. And I always thought, geez, that presentation went really well. I wonder what would have happened if I'd actually spent some time on it, like I should.
Yes.
Right? And here's the thing, and what the Kolbe Index told me, and I've actually now proved, is I could have spent 6 months trying to prep for that particular presentation. It would be no better. It would have added nothing to it. It's just my strength. Whereas others will have been terrified listening to that. They are they're high fact finder types who will research and prepare and all that, which is totally sweet. That's works for you. But you hate being on a deadline, right? So that's it's both. There's no right or wrong with the Kolbe Index.
Yes.
But it's so good to know what your and where you spend your energy. Hey, this is. Sorry, everybody. This is because this is really teaching you how to suck eggs. But we know now, right, there's an energy, effectively, a metaphorical energy fuel tank, a willpower fuel tank.
Yep.
And if you do activities, like I could write a blog post, but I sort of describe it, doing video like we're doing now is like being on the highway in cruise control, you use hardly any petrol. Right, we still get it done. We're still moving, but it's effortless. We're using no petrol at all. Yet, if I'm having to write, say, a blog post, it's like I've got a little Prius and I've got a tow chain on, and I'm trying to pull a Mack truck out of a bog. Imagine how the energy, how much fuel is being burnt by the car.
That's a great metaphor.
Right, but here's the thing, right? It's the things that get people stuck in terms of their online business. I wish it was the tactics or the step-by-steps, or here's how you should market, or here's the things that you need to do. Here's how you can go from one-on-one sessions to group sessions, or online, taking your personal training business and making it online. Because let's face it, hey, again, I'm telling you how to suck eggs for you lovely personal trainers, because isn't most of your clients' problems in here?
Yes, 100%.
Right? Same with business. It's the same. The fundamentals are the fundamentals. And, if you take some of those amazing disciplines you've got to be a personal trainer and apply them to your business, you're absolutely in the way to go.
That is so profound what you said, because especially what I've really come to confirmation is the book that I'm just about to finish. It's on the fitness. It's going to be called The Real Truth About Weight Loss. But the book I published before was my business book, which was Your First 100 Clients. And I feel like I'm going to have to go back and actually change Your First 100 Clients, because in the current book, I delve so deeply into what's going on actually in between the ears as well when it comes to someone wanting to be able to lose weight. Because let's face it, it's not all about eat less and move more, because if it was such a logical problem, it wouldn't be such a problem for so many people around the world right now.
That's right.
So when it comes to business, I didn't talk about what's actually going on in between our ears and the emotions and how we can actually evolve to become the people that we need to be. It was really just strategies, tactics, and principles.
And not talk.
Exactly. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to change that book and write it. And I'm totally happy to do it. And it's obviously the evolution, but I'm got to be completely upfront where I focus too much on that, where we need to focus on exactly what you're saying now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It is an evolution, right? And what's exciting, and what everybody, there has never been, if you're a personal trainer there has never been a better time for you to break that shackle of the one-to-one client, the one-to-one, and go online. There's never. Don't think, I've missed the boat or I've missed the train here. You haven't. There has never been a better time. It's insane. All the tools that you have available to you, the techniques that you have available to you, the cheapness of the infrastructure that you need to be able to put all this stuff together. It's insane. And the fact that you can basically, my mate Frank Kern always jokes that there's just so many $10 problems. There's so many of the challenges that you're having in bringing your business online. People think they have to learn the, WordPressy stuff or learn all that. Now, I enjoy that stuff. I'm a geek, right? But it would be insane for me to do it, because it's just the value that you bring is your knowledge in personal development, your knowledge of your experience of training. That's what you want to focus on. You want to be focused on serving and helping. You don't need to learn how to do a website. You don't need to learn that stuff. Pay somebody to do it. Go on Fiverr and give them $10 to do, That's the thing. And when I'm dealing with entrepreneur types like me, they have a little bit of a problem sometimes with the management side of things, Chris. But your personal development, you're set. You're used to just work your outsourcing team like you work your clients.
We just whip them. It's a really good point, because especially when you brought the example of a website, so many trainers will come and say like, oh, I need to get a website up, or I don't think my website's right. And I'm like, to tell you the truth, these days, I don't think actually to start, you need a website to get going. What if we simply just set up a ClickFunnels page that has a message that connects someone and has a call to action to say, jump on a phone or maybe even buy the program? Do you know what I mean? It's going to cost you nothing, and it's actually delivering what's needed at the end of the day.
I completely agree with that. It's and I like 100%. And what breaks my heart is people think, oh, I'm going to go online, and mate, I was just this will kill you. I was talking with and this guy's a client of mine. He pays me a lot of money to get my advice, and he went and just said, oh, I'm doing a membership site. I said, great, awesome. And he said, yeah, I've signed up this firm. It's just $6,000 a month to build the website. And there wasn't even an end date of when the website was being, this membership site was being built. And I said, mate, is it breeding unicorns that can't have owners?
It's true.
Seriously, and that is terrible. Because if you think about it, it's not. What do you need? You need some way of gathering your tribe, of being able to speak to your tribe. And most people are speaking to your tribe like I am here with you on the phone, literally. Just understand this for a second, everybody. This is really important. If I am looking up personal development and I'm on my mobile device, I am ready to do, because frankly, there's a bunch of more fun things that I could be doing on this phone right now, right? I could be playing Clash Royale, I could be watching Housewives of Atlanta, I could be doing any number of things. But I'm looking up, I need to get fit. And if you're doing that on the phone, you need to get fit now, right? So don't make them go to a website. Don't make them try to find their way around blindly. Have a conversation. Look, as I often joke with my clients, what's the worst that can happen? You have 100 people contacting you your first day.
Yeah.
Watch this. Can you hear that? It's the world's smallest sympathy violin playing.
That's really funny, because that comes back to the conversation you and I are having about Facebook Messenger ads and how important it is to have a conversation right now. If someone's hot to trot, let's talk, because then we can sort out what's going on, rather than trying to do a sales video or a webinar. Like, they all have their places for sure, but eventually all we're needing is a conversation.
This is it. And when you think about, typically for most people, the best way, there's two great ways to get clients, the best ways to get clients. One is somebody to say, oh, Ed, geez, you're really looking good. What have you been doing? Oh, I said, mate, Chris. I've been working with Chris, and he's been my online fitness coach, and he's doing by the way, Chris is not my online fitness coach, because if you see me now, he'd be dreadfully ashamed. Right? He could not use me. I'm before pick only, right? Okay. I'm not Chris's, right? Okay, just in case, because then you really think, hey, what am I listening to this dude for? I mean, he really sucks when he comes to his clients. Is this the best he can do with his clients? Anyway, I digress. Right. But here's the thing, right? What you want to be able to do is, and what's the great thing about this is that it doesn't have to be off the cuff. You can do this in a planned way. You can think about it. I'm sure this is what you teach people, Chris, right?
Orchestrated referrals.
An orchestrated referral is absolutely the best, right? That's the best way, because it takes so much. But that does, that's one way of doing things. The other way, of course, is if you were face to face with somebody and you could talk somebody through, find out what their issues are. But here's the thing: if you think about it, the best type of those conversations, the best type are when you're asking questions. You're not telling them how to do things. You're not doing all of that sort of stuff. So many people are blah, 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 talk as much as they can to try to convince people that they know what they're doing, so please give me your money. Yeah. That's the best. They just ask questions. And I'm sure you teach this, right? So
it's great advice.
Yeah. So you can ask a question really simply. So somebody contacts you and say, hey, mate, I hear you do personal training in Moonee Ponds. I'll just make it up. Yeah. And you sort of say, and then the question, you want to ask a nice, open-ended, positive-based question, because what you don't want to do is say, what you don't want to start off. You don't want to start your conversation, which is with something like, hey, why have you had so much difficulty losing weight in the past?
That doesn't make friends.
It doesn't, because basically what you're saying, hey, fatty.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're not going to respond. They're not going to reply because they feel guilty about that already. You want to move them into the future, right? Initially. Don't worry, we're going to get to the challenge stuff very quickly, but not when we're opening the conversation, right? we want to say, hey, think of a positive thing. What have you tried? I'm sure you've got better questions than I have, but think of a positive question to open the conversation. Oh, where are you located? Just something that starts, because here's the thing: if they won't talk with you, they're certainly never going to buy anything from you. Right, that's a guarantee. And then once you've got the conversation going, then say, hey, what have your challenges been in the past? And take them through the process. I bet you, Chris, we could teach you could basically do your entire process on message. Yeah. And what's the best thing about this? You can do it in line at the Coles. For me, it's waiting for my daughters at netball, waiting for my daughters at dancing, waiting for my daughters at... Basically, I can run my whole business waiting for my children at their various activities.
How many daughters do you have, Ed?
I have 3.
Three. Okay. I've got 2, a 3 and a 1-year-old, so I know what's coming up.
Yeah, but they're younger. Right. Yeah, so you've got a full head of hair now. Let's just check back, everybody. Let's watch this podcast in about 8 years' time, and let's see where Chris's hair, his beautifully coiffed hair, is then.
Exactly. Gone. No, it's such good advice because, for example, there's one client of mine, Aussie guy, but he's actually living in Finland, and we were actually joking the other day. So he's got a massive social media following of 600 people on his Facebook group. Okay. Yeah. So look, it's nothing huge, but he has 94 clients with 4 trainers training those clients in his business. So it was like, one, okay, social media is a client. Let's get off the vanity metrics at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's mainly through referrals. A really simple, orchestrated referral process does such a good job. And then obviously moving on to how do we start a conversation? And the guy's name is not on my lips. The 9-word email.
Ed? Oh, Dean Jackson.
Dean Jackson, fantastic. How effective is a 9-word email? Hey, Ed, do you still want to get in better shape? It starts a conversation to be able to get something moving. So simple and effective.
It is. It really, truly is. See, I think because what a lot of people do when they start their online business is they put together this incredible, because it's amazing, the level of automation and bots and all sorts of amazing things that you can do, surveys and all this sort of things. So what you do is you spend 6 months getting all those ducks in a row before you go, ta-da, here I am. And there's no market there. There's no. You've spent 6 months getting this stuff all together. Whereas what you and I are talking about, there's no reason why, as you say, perfect. ClickFunnels to some sort of opt-in process. So you can use a Facebook lead gen ad. And you don't even, Facebook will give you the emails, right? You don't even have to have an opt-in page. And then you can literally take those emails off that ad. And this is what my clients do. And then you just email them from your Gmail account. Yep. Just send them an email. Hey, thanks for downloading my book. And then, my question for people starting Your First Dollar is something along the lines of, hey, have you picked a market yet? Or are you starting from scratch?
Yep.
Because I know if they haven't picked a market yet, if they don't pick a market, they're not going anywhere further.
Yes.
Right? But if I just said, hey, have you picked a market yet? That would be a bit accusatory, right? Yep. This is right. So it'd be like make them feel bad. But I want to make them feel totally cool. So I say, are you just starting from scratch? Which gives them permission to say, oh, yeah, I'm just starting from scratch. It's a cool response, right? That was the thing. Dean Jackson, who really is the innovator in all of this area, he would say with his 90-minute book program, he would say, hey, what's your book about?
Yes.
Thanks for downloading my book. What's your book going to be about?
And the brilliance about this, when someone first opts into something and you have a really beautiful question like that, I know I have a database of some of the best material I can pull from now, knowing what is it that I need to be able to deliver to my potential market. And this is what everyone can do.
Yeah. It's exactly right. And here's the good thing about it, because people think about, isn't that a lot of work? Isn't that a thing? Hey, look, I'm all for automation. But when people are first starting, we started off this conversation talking about the transition period.
Yes.
Why spend the money? Why not speak with individual clients? Why not chat with them and find out their pains, their gains, their jobs to be done? And then once you've got it absolutely down pat, hey, I'm all for bring in the automation, bring in that. But most people do the automation first, and then they never speak to an actual client until they sign up, or more likely don't sign up. In my neck of the woods, it's almost embarrassing. 1 in every 100 emails that you get ends up buying something. And that's insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
there's a better way. There is a better way. And what we've been talking about is an example of that. But it means you can start that transition. You can do it between clients. So you're still doing your one-on-ones, but between your one-on-ones, right, you can be at the cafe having a coffee afterwards, and you can just go through and respond to your email.
Brilliant. This is what I love about you, Ed. You're able to put such simple to use principles and methods to place, and like, this is golden. This is literally worth so much money, and I'm so happy that I can hit this record button right now. We can share this out to so many people.
I hope you have hit the record button.
I have. Okay, Ed, thank you so much. Now, before I do let you go, where does the listener go to learn more about yourself and what you're doing?
Oh, mate, look, if they're interested in more about the Your First Dollar process, you can actually download the book for free at yourfirstdollar.com. That's the best place. And, I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I didn't you get my email address, and if you download the book, you'll get an email from me in a day or so saying, hey, did you enjoy the book? By the way, have you picked a market yet, or are you starting from scratch? So you'll see the process in action. But it's the future, the messaging part of things. And to me, that should be so exciting for personal trainers, because it's more natural to how you. It's not about the tech. It's not about that. It's about you getting a great result for your client.
Yes.
And there's no better business. It's the most it's the most core business of all, right? And so if somebody gets a good result, they're going to tell people, and that the referral, the orchestrated referral, is the best. Like in your industry, in any industry, is the best thing to get. So, but you got to start somewhere, right? We've got to start somewhere.
Oh, Ed, so good. Okay, I'm going to make sure that we put that link into the show notes. So I highly recommend everyone, the listeners right now, jump straight on. Ed, thank you so much for sharing your time with us and your wisdom. I hope everyone did grab a glass and take a sip of the fountain of wisdom that you are, mate. Looking forward to more.
Thanks, mate. My pleasure.
Now it's time for you to get the most out of this, and this is where I can jump in and give the answers that you need. So ask your questions in the comments below so I can personally come through and answer them for you. Plus, the best discussions happen on chrisdufay.com. So click on over to get everything that I've got there for you. And did you like this episode? Because if so, click subscribe so I can send you all the episodes to come for free straight to you. And for everything that I can't fit in these episodes, plus the free guides and coaching episodes, then click on over to chrisdufay.com now. Looking forward to seeing you soon and in the success community.